wanting to be a top team. And while it didn't translate into a win, I was also encouraged by 100 Thieves' proactivity in their game versus reigning champions TL yesterday. I still want to see them improve on the execution of those plays, but I was glad to see them going for them.
Yeah, it was nice to see that they weren't just sitting back. They were looking for proactive plays, and despite the fact that TL was equal to the task and able to take them down, if they maintain that sort of energy here against Clutch Gaming, this is definitely someone that they could take down.
All right, picks and bans having a very similar look. Flex, picks, and cat. That's pretty much what it's always going to be during this first round here. Ryze, Jace, Aatrox, and Yuumi all banned away. One ban left for each side. What's it going to be, 100 Thieves? What is it going to be? A flex pick. Considering there was only one cat, that would make sense by the process of elimination.
Yep, you've got to take that down. So sometimes we do get some jungle bans in there, you know, mixed up a little bit. Sometimes a little bit of AD, but this is all flex picks really targeted. Akali, the only kind of high prio one that's still left available that has been nerfed recently, so may not actually grab that selection. Taric going to be taken here by Someday. We'll be interested to see if Clutch wants to try to take away the Sona as a separate piece, but they are not going to go for it. Looking like they are trying to prep for Xayah Rakan as a potential answer to that Sona Taric, and we have seen that be very effective against it.
They not only grab the Xayah to prep the bottom lane, but they also get Huni on a champion that Huni has played tons of times in the Rumble, a champion that has an incredible amount of damage potential, but that damage comes at a cost of not being instant, right? Rumble is all about damage over time with both the Flame Spitter and the ultimate, and it means that if Sona Taric get ahead, if they aren't properly shut down, yeah, they're going to be enduring that damage pretty well, but 100 Thieves will also grab themselves their jungler here in the Jarvan.
Yeah, we're going to grab that Jarvan. Certainly, you're expecting Rakan to get locked in here. We have seen a fair bit of Xayah Nautilus as well, so if you want to go for something like that, that is definitely an option, but Rakan, the more kind of safe and standard option there. Cody Sun and Vulcan have already brought that out once this split. Yesterday, they had a great game with that Jinx, you know, really looking effective in that bot lane 2v2 against Golden Guardians, and then great in the team fights as well. We will see if they can actually really punish Bang and Afro on this Sona Taric, because that feels like you need to do it, right? Like, if you cannot put them down in the early stages, this composition just seems like it almost always wins later on in the team fights. Kind of the one exception really was TSM, you know, falling down in a later stage, but that looked like more an issue of coordination, kind of how they were playing out some of those fights rather than an issue with the comp itself.
Right, Sona Taric 6-1 in regular LCS play so far, with that one loss being to FlyQuest yesterday, with Viper on the signature Riven pick. It shows that if you do have these aggro picks and you can play in a coordinated enough way, you can shut it down, but it is hard. Clutch Gaming will be banning out some junglers. I like the ban of the Hecarim. We've seen how oppressive and annoying this can be to deal with in a team fight when coupled with Sona Taric. All that healing just turns the horse into this absolute bulldozer. Get rid of that, get rid of the Camille, which can also be more of a carry from the jungle, as both sides are really heavily targeting that jungle pool. Lee Sin removed by 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because, you know, against most teams, I think people would assume that J4 was just going jungle and they wouldn't ban the Hecarim, but because Someday has brought out J4 top, they have to give over that respect that this is not necessarily the jungle pick that has even been locked in. Certainly it could go to Amazing, but there is no guarantee. I do think with Hecarim banned out, you likely will just send J4 to the jungle and look for a different top lane pick, though, because you do want some sort of reliable hard engage, and Skarner going to be the pick for Lyra. I don't think anyone at this cast knows anything about Skarner, though. You know, no real interest in the
who would ever play a Crystal Purple Scorpion? I can't imagine being that kind of a player, but we will see that. Locked in on the side of Clutch Gaming. Cool thing you can do with Skarner. Skarner fact number 1 for today. When you're up against Taric, remember, when the thing's coming down and the ultimate is going to proc, only the people inside the circle manage to receive the ultimate. So if nothing else, you can just grab the guy who's going to get ulted, yoink him away from the rest of the team, and all of a sudden, you got 4 guys you can still bonk.
Yeah, and if you can kind of create that separation, certainly is going to be powerful, but can be difficult to do since you can be dropping the ultimate in 2 places at once with the Bastion.
Yeah.
So it does kind of require, you know, CC on someone who the ultimate is coming down in. You know, if Rakan goes in for engage, you can maybe pull someone out and kind of avoid it that way. And it does look like we will be getting a Nico here as time does tick down. So very likely, you know, Nico top, Azir mid, those could be flexed around, but you really mostly just see the Nico top. And now this is a very heavy magic damage comp. So you know, you do kind of always have a little bit of concern in the back of your head where you can kind of itemize very effectively towards that with things like the Hex Shrinker. We're actually going to get Lux mid.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
A lot of AoE burst, also good pick potential. 100 Thieves' composition, if you look at their top laner, it's a Nico. This isn't tanky. If the Lux manages to catch someone out, you can blow them up way before Cosmic Radiance ever comes down. And honestly, Skarner's work will be a little bit tough because of Tangle Barbs, because of Taric Stun, because of Crescendo. All these instant no, you don't get to have fun buttons on the side of 100 Thieves against a champion that has to run at you. But whenever Lyra's flash is up, if he can flash ult the Sona, Bang is dead.
Yeah, certainly can get burst down. I mean, you are very, very squishy on that Sona. And also, one of the things with solo lane Lux is when you do get to the later stages of the game, your shield becomes incredibly powerful, scaling off all that AP.
Yep.
Can make your team very difficult to knock down. So perhaps a little bit of a nod over to how kind of a low damage perhaps they feel some of this composition would be. At least the upfront burst is going to be, I think, a lot lower than some of these other comps that you could be running. That being said, Azir Sona in the late game is very, very frightening, despite the fact that they are really magic damage heavy.
Now, one thing you can rely on against Azir is similar to both Tristana and Lee Sin. When you're playing Skarner, you can bait them into helping you. If you cast your ulti and they cast theirs during the same... If they cast their ult during the 0.25 second cast time of your ult, so it's a very small window, but if you're able to feel that out just right and time it appropriately, he will shuffle you backwards and you will take him with you and you say thanks for the disengage, give him the less than 3 in the all chat, and collect your team fight win.
That's pretty funny. We'll see if that does happen. Not expecting it to too much, but you do see that it is actually on hit Nico up in the top lane. You can tell that because it is press the attack. He's starting with Doran's Blade, so very likely going to be going for more of an AD style build. We did actually see this very matchup coming out from Hanser yesterday. He did actually play that into a Rumble. I was actually against Huni. It did not work out for Hanser or the Golden Guardians then. He did have a lane advantage, but wasn't really able to get anything done with that. And you can see how successful Huni has been throughout his career on this champion. This is really his signature champ and has been for such a long time.
66% win rate is good even for solo queue. To have it in professional play, that's quite a statement to make here for Huni. As Clutch Gaming have invaded enemy territory, they'll get themselves out in time there. You don't want to end up fighting on a Skarner point at level 1. Amazing also having the Conqueror here on the Jarvan. Shows that he's not going to go for the straight up gank power of the Electrocute, but rather the scaling capabilities of that one. Saligo with an Electrocute of his own on Azir shows me, hey, he's going for burst.
Yeah, and usually when you do see the Electrocute, that means Warrior Jarvan. Very often Conqueror means Cinderhulk. Not always, but assuming he is going to be going Cinderhulk, that's even less physical damage that this composition is going to have. So, Skarner going towards heavy magic resist can be very effective. Things like a Banshee's Veil and Hex Shrinker and QSS, etc. can be very effective for a lot of these guys, just as far as efficient itemization does go.
Oh yeah, Hex Shrinkers are... Hex Drinker is really powerful if Cody Sun decides that he needs a little bit of survivability. That's great for your Xayah. I guess if you wanted to play Chad Skarner, you could buy a Hex Drinker, but I doubt we're ever going to see that in LCS, so we'll just pass on that one. Just go for some straight-up magic resistance.
Even like adaptive or something.
Yeah, adaptive helm. Just grab any sort of MR you can find. Your mages have plenty of MR itemization they can go for. We saw Banshee's Veil from PoE last game. Could be a very capable item this time around, too, up against things like a Crescendo and a Taric Stun. But we'll see how it all plays out here for Clutch Gaming, who, again, if you didn't watch their game yesterday, I would advise to go back and watch the VOD because it was pretty impressive how this team improved and was able to find a win.
Yeah, and we've honestly seen such a difference between some of these teams game to game. Even just looking at the last game we saw from CLG, I called it best game of the split from them. I think it's probably the best game of the year from them. Some of these teams have really shown some very impressive games, and it hasn't just always been that level of consistency. But even on some of the teams that are sitting at the bottom of the standings, there are some incredibly good players who can have those pop-off moments, and you're just looking for the team to kind of pull it all together. I mean, 100 Thieves, when you're looking at this team and you're realizing they're in 10th place, and you look at some of the individuals on the team, there are certainly something that feels weird about that to me.
Yep. I would agree with that one. The star power factor that it's so often referred to as, but we'll see if 100 Thieves can bring it back and make it work out. Sona Taric enjoying the usual scenery that we see them enjoy, provided their opponents draft a lane to smash them early on. They sit underneath the turret, heal up, constantly spam the shields.
Yeah. This is rough, though. I mean, they're not getting any of that fun, right?
No.
Like, this is actually
23 to 6.
Yeah, now they pick up a little bit more there as Afro is able to grab a couple of those CS, but certainly this is one of the best ways to really defeat this sort of composition, just putting the Sonateric so far behind that they do become incredibly squishy, that they do become very, very abusable. You know, and from behind, it can be tough to play out. Yes, you do still have that really strong scaling, but you definitely are vulnerable.
But we have seen as well, even if a team takes control of the lane early, if Sonateric get a little bit of help from the jungle, and you can see Amazing shadowing them right now, they can hold on just fine, hit the mid game. They're both support champions. Their kits are designed to work on a budget. They don't have to be 1,000 gold ahead of their opponents to still be effective. As top lane, Someday pretty low on HP here up against Huni, who has his flash available.
Yeah, you always have to be pretty careful about that. At this level of health from Someday, if you get hit by a Harpoon, that hit confirms the Comet, and you could just get Flash Flame Spitter. Yeah, maybe you do go down. So, you know, that is certainly something to worry about. That being said, Huni quite low himself, and they do not have eyes on Amazing. So Lyra is moving up here. There is a lane ward, you know, in that brush. So now they see the Skarner, and you can see Amazing could come right up. They could look to bait this. Amazing's going to go for this fight.
It'll be a 2 versus 2. Huni wanting to get himself away. Someday going to be taking some damage. Clutch Gaming turned around and managed to find themselves the first blood. 100 Thieves not getting anything in response. Lyra walking away. Does have flash if he needs it, but he won't need to even use that summoner spell, and Clutch come out on top.
I mean, well done by Clutch, but come on, you knew the Skarner was in the brush. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate there for the side of 100 Thieves, but Someday was just too low health. I mean, how are you going to fight it when one of your guys is 200 HP?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just a situation where they knew where Skarner was. He passed through that. So allow the J4 to engage first, then follow up once the Skarner is already committed to the fight. You use your W, you don't flash when the Skarner flashes out on you. I think this was very poorly played by 100 Thieves, and it even cost them the teleport from Soligo. Despite the fact that they get nothing on a play they had full information on. So that is just horrible execution from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, teleport used by Soligo. Someday having to teleport back into his own lane, but you can see Huni had to match that, so that's not too bad. Huni taking a little bit of damage here. Doesn't want to go on Someday. Recognizes, hey, this guy's a little bit aggro right now. Something might be up. Amazing hanging on that second brush. Ooh. As Demonte gets the better of Soligo there in the mid lane. And hey, here's your problem. No TP available. Yeah. Means once you lose this health, you're hoofing it back to lane.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to point out. I mean, he hadn't even gone back to base. Without having base, he TP'd top lane, then had to walk back. He's now down farm, and you know, Demonte was able to get a buy without using his TP, so they have TP advantage there as well. Skarner is just going to use that priority to be able to take a very easy Infernal here, so already things looking pretty good for Clutch. You know, they're up 1.4k gold. Bottom lane is way ahead. I actually love the early Executioner's buy here from Cody-san. I think that is so smart, and people are never willing to do it in pro play for whatever reason. You're playing against 2 healers in the bottom lane. This thing costs 800 gold and cuts their healing in half.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good to me.
It's a numbers spell. I always made jokes back in the day when I was in low elo when people wouldn't buy appropriate items because it wasn't a bloodthirster, so it didn't have the maximum damage in the game, and you gotta play the numbers game, right? You gotta be a numbers warrior, but sometimes cutting their numbers in half is better than boosting your number by a little bit.
Exactly. I mean, it's just so damn effective. So yes, it does slow down your Essence Reaver, obviously. You know, that is going to be that pit stop that you are taking. But if you can then, you know, delay them and punish them even harder in their lane, you're going to delay their itemization and really kind of punish them that much more. So I do think it's a smart buy. I think it's an effective buy. And we'll see how much work they are going to be able to get done. I love that Demonte, anytime you hit a binding, just drop the ultimate. Use it for lane pressure. You do not need to save it for 100 to 0.
Yep.
And the CD's low, as you say. So, you know, just keep trying to push him out. Try to bully him around, especially now that Demonte has spent his teleport for a lane. You really want to kind of establish pressure there.
And you can see with the Infernals already picked up by Clutch Gaming, they've got some extra late game insurance too if it does go long. Lyra with Flash, with Predator, with ulti and Chilling Smite ready to go. This is a death warrant. He can take anybody down from this position, and he's moving forward to clear out some vision on the backside of the cliff here. Going forward now, 100 Thieves, no Taric ultimate available. Clutch Gaming was looking to potentially make something happen before that came online, but they don't want to force the play, and I like that.
Yeah, and they are nervous about where J4 is. If J4 had just shown on top side of the map, I think you make that dive 10 times out of 10 with them not being level 6. But because you don't know where Jarvan is, if he shows up, that could go really bad. And
Couple question mark pings there for that
Yeah.
one. Saligo thinking that maybe Lyra was going to try to flash ult him, and you then shuffle backwards to make sure the Skarner is stuck in between the two turrets. Unfortunately for him, that's not the play Lyra goes for. Instead, just baits out the ulti and leaves Saligo down yet another resource.
Yeah, I do respect the attempt there from Saligo, though. I think that's pretty worthwhile, as many question marks as he probably is getting right now. You know, I think it's a respectable attempt because
it would have been a mad life if it worked.
Exactly, and if you get flash ulted there, without it, you just die. You gotta pull off this dive now. They get the Sona and Taric ult both out. Now you can go for this. This is great.
That's exactly the kind of patience you need to demonstrate, and they hand it on a silver platter, Azale, right over to the mid laner. Damonte gets that one, as Clutch Gaming will now look to grab first turret. Aframu gets himself back. He has the mark on him from the Skarner poison. It means he can't walk forward or he's going to be stunned. And Clutch Gaming gets not only the kill, they get all the remaining plates, they get the first turret. It's a 3,000 gold lead 9.5 minutes in.
Flowers, that dive was insane. That was actually so well played.
That was clean.
From Clutch, that was as clean as they come. With Damonte moving down for the semi-global Lux ultimate, the fact that they forced both Taric and Sona ultimate out, then delayed it, then go for the engage. Like, this is flawless. This is textbook right here. Lyra is going in. He's standing right on top of them. Notice how they do not pull aggro even. Looking to threaten this engage. They wait out both the ultimates. Flash ult onto Sona. Into the Lux ult. Are you kidding me? That was sick. Then just focusing down this turret here. Afro realizes he has to clear out the minions, but still they get the kill. They get first turret. They are so far ahead.
That is exactly the kind of coordination I'm talking about. They communicated beforehand, hey, I will drag him right towards this ward, shoot Lux Laser at the ward, and you will get a kill. Perfectly done from Clutch Gaming. They're rewarded with an incredible early game lead all across Summoner's Rift. I mean, if we're counting up advantages, bottom side, they've got twice the farm of their opponent. Top lane, Huni is winning. Mid lane, Damonte is winning. If the one thing I guess you could say is amazing has 2 more camps compared to Lyra, but when you compare the fact that Lyra just made sure there were 2 kills for his team, that's fine.
Yeah, and I mean, with that turret gold as well as all the harass that you're seeing Vulcan get down with his Frostfang, you know, he's even on gold with the farming Taric, right? He has the same amount of gold as Aframu, and his AD is 1,200 gold ahead. So, you know, even if you want to cut out, you know, that executioners that he did take a pit stop to buy, he's still ahead. And that stats from that are so valuable, and the healing debuff is so valuable. So Clutch is in an incredible position at this point in the game, and they're just going to look to continue to snowball this. Grabbing Rift Herald at 11 minutes, very high chance they can use this to knock down another turret, to grab even more plates. Gotta remember to pick it up. Hopefully they will.
All right, Lyra walks back over. But yeah, you can't contest the Rift Herald there at all if you're 100 Thieves. They already have the Skarner Spire, and he has Chilling Smite. If you walk anywhere near it, he runs at you really fast, smites you, and you get pulled. You're dead.
And bot lane is both, you know, post level 6, Cody Sen and Vulcan, with Flash ult available on their con. So good luck trying to walk over there without getting hard engaged on. You can see Amazing is trying to lie in wait here. He wants to be able to try to punish Clutch. If they did overextend there, if they pushed up a little bit too far, they will not do so as a result. But Lyra now moving back over to group up here with Vulcan, and they could look to try to make some sort of an aggressive play.
Damonte continuing to maintain control over the mid lane here. Still doesn't have the Luden's Echo complete, but just constantly shoving these waves up, making it so Saligo doesn't have a chance to really impact anything else on the map. 100 Thieves will now try to scare Clutch Gaming back out of their jungle. Skarner E will find its mark there as Vulcan jumps over the wall. Lyra being a good teammate, making sure his ally has someone to hop to there. Aframu runs forward.
Oh, he's
Saligo making his way in, but he's going to be caught out. A lot of damage coming down, getting himself away with the shield. 100 Thieves are going to lose their mid laner. They're looking to find the enemy support. They'll do so, but now Amazing is stuck, and it's a 2-for-1.
Yeah, and that was a great ultimate from Saligo, actually, you know, pre-knocking back this Skarner to deny the ultimate there. But despite that, Huni with the alley-oop equalizer does take him down, and Clutch coming out on top regardless here, getting those kills, and now it is Xayah alone in the top side, going to be able to look for this play. So Saligo coming in for a potential collapse. There's 4 members here of 100 Thieves, and if you can get that great ultimate in from behind, that would be perfect. But he does get knocked up. He knocks back Vulcan on the flash ultimate. That was exactly what he was trying to do on that dive earlier. So Saligo making it work there, stopping Vulcan. Does go down as a result either way. The Skarner ult was still up though here for Lyra, and he's going to be able to grab someone, knock him down.
And you saw how scary the Sona Turret can be if it doesn't fall too far behind, because it zoned Lyra away for the entirety of the ult duration. He couldn't go in, recognized that the Cosmic Radiance has to be gone before the pull can really sing. However, Clutch Gaming have such a commanding lead, over 4,000 gold now, 2 Drakes in pocket as well. Man, this game's looking good for them.
Yeah, it really is. I would like to see them drop Shelly pretty soon. I don't think they're going to be able to get, unfortunately, before the turret plates were down. You know, especially when there was only 2 turret plates available top. You know, had Lyra just gone straight top and dropped that, I think they would have been able to cash in on the additional plates and get some more gold in their pockets there. It is a bit of a nitpick, but still something you always like to see happen, unless they think they can really capitalize even more on a big push where you wait to get a couple kills and then you drop in and try to get 2 turrets. But I think that's so rare in pro play that I tend to really favor dropping it before plates expire.
14 minutes in means not happening today. You can see the inventory of Lyra having the pieces of the Righteous Glory. This is the item I always want to see on Tank Skarner's second, as Sumday's burning down in bottom side. Huni will just walk up, one more Flame Spitter. See you later, buddy. Solo kill for Clutch Gaming's top lane.
Yeah, that's flash down on Someday, and he died. Huni didn't even have to use his flash there. 2 days in a row, we're seeing this matchup against Huni not really working out, and now they go in, but the ultimate is not going to get anything as there's no follow-up there, and here comes Lyra.
And now 100 Thieves doesn't have their Sona crescendo, so they have no way to defend anything else. Clutch will continue pressing forward. They've got the flash on the Skarner ulti ready to go. Huni's just setting up shop in the bottom lane. What are you going to do to him? Someday has a Bilgewater Cutlass, a bow and arrow, and a cape. You can't do anything with that against a guy that's literally just melting you down from 100 to 0.
And now they're going to drop this Riftgeld mid, look to knock down that final outer. Certainly an important tower to be able to take down. We'll be able to defend it for now, but I mean, it's like 2 hits, so they should be able to get it on this next wave. Cody can just walk up and knock this down. 100 Thieves realizes it, so they will back off. And Huni going to continue pressing on that bottom side, keeping Someday locked down. And it's so concerning when you go for this on-hit style of build. This is meant for 1v1, for side lane winning.
That's all it does.
You're way worse in the team fight, so if you are losing in the 1v1, you are pretty much worthless. Huni just absolutely roasts him up. A well-placed equalizer with Someday against the wall meant it took a lot of time for him to get out of it, and Someday, it's just getting run down. I mean, he's down a lot of farm, a lot of kills. He is way behind, and we know that it can be tough to find the opportunities to get those 1v1s later on. Haunter yesterday had a huge CS advantage, but was still never able to capitalize on it, and now this is Huni way ahead in the same matchup.
There ain't no somewhat useless to it, Azael. When you're an on-hit Nico from behind and you walk up with your minion waves, your opponents wonder why 4 faster minions spawn.
Oh,
you don't do much. Oh, okay, I'll just grab some extra gold for farming this guy as well. Someday, level 11 now, but still on the struggle bus. Those pop blossoms don't do a thing.
I really love if you're behind a certain amount of gold. You know how you can turn into all the other champions? You should really just be able to cosplay as a minion once you're down like 5K. Just another icon pops up.
Turn into the minion as DeMonte is going to be turned into some money here for the side of 100 Thieves. They'll find that pick, and that's what this team needs.
Yeah, that's actually a really nice one. That's not only just killing the Lux, that was a Magi's Lux, so he just lost all his stacks. He invested in that, and that is something that gets so much worse when you are weak and when you are losing those stacks, and now they're going in here.
Clutch Gaming's looking for their opportunity to push their numbers advantage. Cody's son gets himself away. Vulcan's able to dash right back to Cody. Amazing to be on the front line, being dropped down by the feathers, and the equalizer will turn this one around. Pop Blossom's only going to find its way onto Lyra. The Azir turret doing a good job preventing Clutch from going any further, but even with their numbers advantage, Clutch is down 0-2 in the fight. Lyra and Huni looking to maybe go even further. Lyra zoning Saligo away, preventing that Azir from joining the top laner and the support, Aphromu and Someday, both at half HP. Minion wave now marching down towards that Sun Disc, and 100 Thieves just can't find their fights. They're too far behind.
Yeah, they are so far behind, and this Executioner is getting a lot of work done, cutting through so much of their healing at this point in the game. You can see the gold graphs there. Cody's on way ahead here. This is one more time. Lyra is here. Quick TP already coming through from Huni back on that minion wave. Vulcan does a good job buying time. Dodges out on that stun coming from the Bastion Dazzle on Amazing, and then Amazing jumping forward, but he is just getting absolutely shredded through. Lyra with the flash ult onto Bang. He is gone as well. They knocked down 2 kills in that 4v5. 100 Thieves not able to really get anything back.
And look at the gold here. The 4,400 on Vulcan, still higher than Aphromoo, who was farming on the Taric, and only 1,000 behind the enemy Jarvan.
And I mean, top in AD is really what I'm most concerned about 400 Thieves, right? You look at Sona, 2K behind. You look at this on-hit Nico, 2K behind. The Skarner is also ahead. I would say that's more acceptable, you know, not great, but it's not as doomed as your carries being that weak comparatively. Because Cody Sun's going to be on 2 items here very quickly. Huni already has double Spell Pen plus Leandries. You're just going to get blasted in these team fights.
But the thing is about the Skarner, you've got the Righteous Glory completed, and Tank Skarner goes Ingenious Hunter in his domination tree along with the Predator. So that means you're going to have these lowered cooldowns on your active items. If you look at the fact that he's got 5 kill participation, that means he's got plenty of stacks on that as well. Between Righteous Glory and Predator, he's pretty much always going to have playmaking opportunities ready to go.
Yep, he just needs to grab Azir and Taric as those final 2 stacks, so he does have 15% active CDR cooldown there from the talent. You know, definitely doing a lot of work for him. And I like the point because, as you say, yeah, tanks aren't always as important to have a lot of gold on.
Right.
But getting yourself even better engage opportunities that you see right here with Righteous Glory Predator.
Righteous Glory and Predator. He says, I don't care about your sand soldiers. I'm coming for you.
Look at him go.
The Lego's not going to get away today. Get over here.
Oh my God, he just ran him down. He was like 1,000 miles away. He's like, oh, there's a wall here. All right, I'll just scuttle around that. Yep, just keep on going.
Sometimes you don't need a blink as long as you can run fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the tortoise in the air. He's just, I don't even know. There's something going on there. He's just slowly overtaking him. I love it, and they're going to grab Baron. Clutch just crushing this game right now. Amazing is here, but I think the Baron's just gone before he can even do anything.
Baron already secured 100 Thieves, no way into the fight, and with Amazing already throwing his flag into the pit, he's forced to commit the flash just to escape.
Whew. This is a great game from Clutch. Back-to-back games this weekend where they have been looking on point. And they have everything they need, I think, to really comfortably close out this game. They're 8K ahead. They took a almost instantaneous Baron, at 20-30. So here this is one more time. Lyra popping Predator, popping Righteous Glory. Sully goes so far away, uses the slide, drops the wall. Nope, just go around that. Okay, I guess I got a flash. But surely you're fine now, right? Surely you're not going to get caught now. I mean, he's running at him from across the whole map. Just chased him down. I love it.
That's exactly what the pick is supposed to do. And you can see here as well, Lyra is far enough ahead that now he's hit another important breakpoint in that normally you expect Skarner to make other people buy QSSs, but up against these point-blank, no fun buttons in Sona stun, Taric stun, Nico stun, all of these make it impossible for Skarner to engage. So just buy your own QSS.
It's like come full circle. You're so fed that now you're the one that's buying it.
Well, Bang flashing there to make sure he doesn't get knocked up by Vulcan's initiation as he tries to join the rest of the team, but a Sona that's behind the curve of the game and now doesn't have a flash is in a really hard spot.
Yeah, and he's so far away from a Lich Bane or really any relevance as far as damage. He's working towards what could be a Zhonya's or a Banshee's Veil here. He is sitting on that stopwatch. He does have the Seraph's Transform, but they are just so weak. Multiple forms of healing reduction. Morello's now complete as well for Huni. So they have everything they need.
Amazing. Walking a little bit too close there. Has to get himself back over the wall. Luckily has the flag combo to do it with. Sundisc comes up, and Clutch Gaming now have to work through yet another turret, but they'll have a minion wave joining them here in a moment. Demonte still left in the mid lane, split pushing to take down this tier 2.
Yeah, he's just going to be shoving in multiple waves. You can see up in the top lane, they have the minion waves up there as well. Sundisc does come down as soon as the next minion wave arrives, and they're sending Sunday up to the top side to try to clear out those minion waves so they can't even rotate up there, but bot lane inhibitor is gone. They're looking for Soligo. Oh,
here comes Lyra again. Soligo's going to have some bad memories of that Scorpion as Clutch Gaming will take down their first inhibitor there in the bottom side. Amazing, eating a whole lot of damage from Demonte, almost taken all the way down to 0. Back to the spawn platform he goes as the rest of Clutch group up, and they're moving on to inhibitor turret number 2.
Glass half full way to look at it, though. He was already in base, so getting sent back to base, not that big of a deal.
Go home 2 feet away.
Clutch is looking like they are going to be able to close this one out. Lyra escorting in these minions, 4-man squad. not able to be contested here.
Equalizer comes down, the zones are controlled. Amazing does not get caught up in the binding. It fizzles out just an inch too short as Someday tries to chase Lyra off in the bottom side. Not gonna find him with the Tangle Barbs. Clutch Gaming, with that inhibitor exposed of their opponents, means that they can force a fight in open ground here. They're backing off, they don't want to overcommit. 100 Thieves still trying to maintain some sort of control over their own base, Azale. They don't want to just give this away, but what are you supposed to do when your frontliner takes damage like that? Clutch Gaming continue to move up. Huni gets bound, but it doesn't matter. The Rumble is just too hard to kill, even with just the health items. Lyra goes into the Crystalline Exoskeleton just in case he needs to run somebody down, but it's not required. And Clutch Gaming back out. Drake spawning here in 4 seconds.
I mean, 100 Thieves are just so far behind that it's very hard to see any way that they could really get anything done in these team fights. At this point, you're hoping that the game is going to go another 15 or 20 minutes, really to kind of get to a point where you're catching up and you're scaling up and you're going to be relevant, but they are so far behind, and Clutch has such good engage tools with not only Rakan, but also this Skarner who's super far ahead. So, they have all the ways to close it out. For 100 Thieves, you just have to kind of sit back and pray that your opponents are making a mistake, because I don't think that there is any proactive play that can really get anything done for you if it's not paired with massive mistakes from Clutch.
Oh, absolutely not. Not with a gold deficit of, what is that, 8,000 gold?
Yeah,
24 minutes into the game.
And 4 dragons, 0.
Yeah, you're just not going to get those opportunities. They don't exist. As Clutch Gaming will push up the top side. They know they've got super minions in the other lanes. Damonte will accompany that mid lane wave just to get it pushing as quickly as possible. And Lyra will control this jungle between the two lanes, make sure he's ready to pick anybody that's brave enough to step outside of the base wall.
Yeah, and this is really just Clutch checking all the boxes. This is why they are grouped up. There's no point in actually splitting up at this point. If Damonte walks up to shove a lane, maybe 100 Thieves can get an engage. But if they're grouped up 5-man strong, Lyra just threatens him off. There's nothing you can do.
That's a fast critter right there. That's Skarner. As soon as you see it, Lego immediately runs away, but there comes your initiation. Clutch Gaming's going in, but the Cosmic Radiance comes down. Lyra's taken very low. He's the one who actually takes the most damage over the course of the fight, but Clutch Gaming will not be dissuaded yet. Because the Taric ultimate is now down, that means that protective layer is not there for 100 Thieves. Lyra goes back to base. He's going to be healing up. It's a 4-man push beside of Clutch Gaming. We'll see how hard they want to take this as the minion wave collides with the top lane turret. They're finding damage onto that one. Someday coming around from the side. Remember that Nico's not a team fight. Nico Huni goes way too far in. He's going to be shut down. Vulcan dashing back to the safety of his teammates. And Clutch finally commits some of those mistakes we were talking about and allow 100 Thieves the opportunity to punish.
Yeah, really, all they had to do was wait for supers to come in mid and bot, then try to threaten that dive or knock down the third inhibitor. Instead, they try to do it, straight in the face of 100 Thieves. They do get punished as Lyra had to go back to base, and without Lyra there, they stay around in the 4v5. There's no Baron buff or anything really to buff them up. So we do see 100 Thieves getting a kill, but still, it is Clutch massively ahead, looking for this Baron. They may wait for Huni to do it as he has his teleport available, but here they go.
There it goes. Lyra's able to find himself a pick. That's Soligo down, and that is likely the most important member, period, of 100 Thieves. Unless that Taric ultimate is up, in which case I'd give it over to Afromu, but still, one of those key players down means Baron is now yours for the side of Clutch Gaming. TP coming in. It's Huni looking to join the fight as Clutch will control the Baron pit. They're controlling everything. Amazing Steal would be the only hope here for the side of 100 Thieves. Huni knows that, and he says, you get out of here. This is our objective. Amazing eats the damage from the laser coming out from Lux. Vulcan still looking to find himself some sort of initiation. Equalizer coming down, forcing the flash away from the 100 Thieves jungler. And Clutch Gaming will now go on the victory march. Soligo's up in 3 seconds. 100 Thieves will have one more chance at defense. But it's a 5v5, 10,000 gold down against a team that's all baroned up and ready to go. Clutch Gaming, poised for victory.
Yeah, super minions coming in that mid lane as well here. Clutch looking to close this one out. Soligo is up, so they do have some wave clear in it. Looks like they want to try to kill off the inhibitors one more time. This bot lane one is spawning. In they go.
Amazing's gonna start this one off. Cosmic Radiance coming down, keeping 100 Thieves nice and safe. Lyra will finally fall. Clutch Gaming loses their jungler, and 100 Thieves find their fight.
Great pick onto Lyra. Will dissuade a lot of this push, and 100 Thieves is kind of against all odds, finding some of these kills, finding these ways to slow down the game. Clutch getting a little bit sloppy, being a little bit spread out, is allowing 100 Thieves to find some opportunities to try to fight back. And critically, their bottom inhibitor didn't actually go down, so it is not going to be 2 supers per wave. It is only 1 super in mid, 1 super in top, and the mid lane inhibitor is about to respawn as well. So, not too hard for them to wave clear from this point. They are still at a very, very difficult stage of the game, but we have now gone a few minutes forward through 2 Barons. And yes, there's still a couple minutes left on this, but they're starting to kind of eke a little bit of hope back into this game.
And up until now, 100 Thieves has been so far behind, they haven't had the luxury of being able to pay the Skarner tax. That's just something you can't do when you're so far behind in the game. You cannot invest 1,300 gold into avoiding Skarner. You just fall way too far behind on your power curves. But the first one has finally come out for Someday. So that's finally a member of 100 Thieves that doesn't have to be as afraid of the Flash ultimate, the Predator ultimate, the Righteous Glory ultimate from Lyra. But at the same time, Clutch Gaming getting some pretty good Drake RNG here. Infernal number 2 instantly picked up. 1 more Elemental will spawn before the Elder, and that is a 3rd Infernal. So if it does go long...
Yeah, that is really rough. You hate to see that when you're trying to turtle in the base, when you're trying to play it out slowly. And Cody-san also has the IE now, so he is on 3 items plus the executioner. He is monstrously strong, still has yet to die on his team here as well. And Clutch, despite the fact that 100 Thieves has delayed them a little bit in the base, they're one fight away rather from winning this game. And that is a fight that they are very heavily favored in with double Infernal with an 8k gold lead.
Critically, the Cosmic Radiance about to come up, but not quite there. 100 Thieves cannot fight without it. Amazing, looking for the opportunity to find that green light yet again. Go into the back line, have the Taric ultimate, keep himself alive, and find the engage. Vulcan dashing back to the safety, the rest of Clutch Gaming. Shields coming out, plenty of shielding power there from DeMonte. Cosmic Radiance comes down, Amazing goes in, he's able to drop the Cataclysm. Equalizer lands, but it's only going to be onto invulnerable targets. Vulcan getting himself back, Amazing taken down. Cody-san goes on a rampage. The Shurima Shuffle's not going to find anybody in the back line. Someday, he couldn't get enough damage to get them all, but he grabs a shutdown onto Cody, and 100 Thieves will hold the line.
Oh my God, Someday. I'm getting flashbacks to the Jax 4-man Counter-Strike in the base. They're even gonna get Huni this time around. He gets the 4-man Nico ultimate, the root on everyone.
If that was an AP Nico, that's a team wipe.
I mean, damn. Being able to hold on from this point is so impressive. We are seeing a lot of the scaling start to kick in. I mean, Azira's on 3 items. You are seeing some of the items starting to come through for this Stona and Taric. And Clutch has got to be damn sure in these next couple fights that they are not about to throw this game. They had such an insane lead. And 100 Thieves are just refusing to die, playing this out so damn well. And here it is, the Taric ultimate gonna get dropped. They look for the engage. Ultimate onto Cody-san and Vulcan. Gonna be able to kite back, and they go on to Vulcan. Vulcan is pushed out of the fight. Amazing goes down. You're thinking, all right, this has got to be their fight. But look at the ultimate here from Someday. Hits their whole damn team. So Legal survived in the background with a great ult of self-heal onto Lyra. They're even able to knock down Lyra. And here this is from Someday's point of view, the pro view replay. He goes into the clone here, hits the root, and then is able to look forward for this ultimate, right? Into the clone. They do not see that he is moving forward there. I think he did kind of trick them out with it and is, with his dying breaths, able to get that shutdown on Cody-san. But here is Clutch one more time.
The problem with that fight is although 100 Thieves won it, they still lost 2 inhibitors there in bottom and mid lane. So the map itself working against 100 Thieves right now. Clutch Gaming will continue to control the momentum of this match. 100 Thieves still holding on, but super minions pour into the base.
Yeah, and they are really up against it. You've got to give them credit, though, for their resilience in this fight. Oh, nice stopwatch.
Very good denial as Lyra's going to find himself exploded. Amazing stays alive, and now he's counterattacking with the Cosmic Radiance. Cody's going to be forced to ult. Someday's taken low. Amazing very low. Soligo at 1/3. He's 9 steps away, but Demonte, the sniper, will find the shot on a someday, as now 100 Thieves will not be able to hold on to that final inhibitor. They will not be able to hold on to Nexus turret number 1. The second is kept alive, if only for a moment, as Clutch Gaming are forced to fall back. They'll again regroup on that third inhib, take it down, continue this flow of double super minions. Nexus turret number 2 barely standing.
Yeah, that was such a critical snipe onto Someday because it allows them to stay around and keep going with this push.
Vulcan looking to initiate once again. 100 Thieves continuing against all odds to hold on. Saligo will not be 100-0 despite getting caught by the CC for a moment there. But 100 Thieves is doing the defense as they're making it happen.
This is insane, the red zone defense here from 100 Thieves. Clutch has been on the goal line.
We've been
like
at the 1-yard line for the past half of the game. Clutch will continue just driving all the way down. They've got another Baron under the belt. That's number 3.
Yeah, I mean, we're 10 minutes into that kind of 15 or so minutes that I was talking about them trying to buy. It's actually absurd that they've been able to survive thus long. And certainly some misplays from Clutch, but also some incredible plays from 100 Thieves. And I've got to say, this looks so different from them in spring, where in these kind of games, it felt like they were not even fighting at the inhibitors, where they were giving up and rolling over and dying. They received so much criticism for that. So yes, they got themselves into a bad spot, but they are fighting tooth and nail here, trying to hold on against Clutch.
Well, here's that third Infernal we were talking about. The game did go long enough for it to spawn, so Clutch Gaming will have that extra damage bonus here now too. But the way that this map looks to me, the map itself still favors Clutch Gaming, but the fights have so clearly favored 100 Thieves. It just comes down to 100 Thieves being able to stabilize enough to keep the inhibs alive and not allow Clutch to shove all these minion waves into the base. Vulcan is caught out. He's stuck in the Cataclysm, but now Amazing's going to be taking some damage. Cosmic Radiance already popped. This could be the fight Clutch is able to look for, able to find, but instead it's going to be Huni exploded. Someday grabs the kill, and the impossible defense continues.
How do they keep making it happen time and time again in these fights? They're pulling it off. But Cody-san looking for Amazing here. He's got to get back to the well, heal up. So Ligo trying to clear out these
super minions. They're taking the Nexus turret so incredibly low. Cody's son will take it down. 100 Thieves do not want to engage just yet. Aphromu's ultimate is not available, but you've got a naked Nexus now, a Sun Disc spawn to just try to buy a little bit more time, but the Nexus itself is always on the minds of all 10 players. Amazing looking for a chance to potentially engage onto Clutch. Aphromu continuing to run forward as well. Cosmic Radiance still not ready. The single most important spell in this game.
This is ridiculous. Clutch has 6 dragons, 3 of them being an Infernal, and 100 Thieves is refusing to die here. So Ligo doing so much heavy lifting. Look at that Baron power play. That is in the negatives. And so Ligo has his death cap now. He is on 4 items plus those sword boots. He is monstrously strong.
100 Thieves have 2 inhibs.
Yeah. And here comes Someday. He's looking for it.
Amazing, pressing forward. Aphromu has the Cosmic Radiance ready to go, but with Saligo only at 1/3 HP, this one could be bad, and Someday is popped. Could Clutch have finally found what they're looking for? Lyra looking to maybe take down that enemy jungler. He's able to find his way onto Amazing, and that should be it. It was a very difficult push. It was such a valiant defense from 100 Thieves, but Clutch Gaming finally found what they were looking for. They've made their way onto the Nexus. They're finding the auto attacks, and Clutch Gaming will get that win.
Definitely wasn't easy though. 100 Thieves making him work for it, and that final catch, so big for Clutch to be able to close that one out. So Ligo was buying, and Someday gets caught, does go down there, and Clutch are finally able to close out as a result. And this is one that leaves you with a lot of questions. I mean, Clutch played out the early stages so well of this game. It did start to get pretty sloppy from them, and 100 Thieves were able to capitalize, made some incredible plays. You know, and we're very resilient, but it is Clutch closing this one out and securing a 2-0 weekend.
It was a little bit strange because Clutch had such a clean first half of the game, but then once it got into 100 Thieves base, they lost their ability to dictate when the fights would happen. It was always 100 Thieves engaging with Amazing and Afromu together, and if you're a 100 Thieves fan, that's a sign of life. You're not flatlining just yet. We got some beeps on the chart, and that means this team does have the ability to respond in these situations. They've just got to shore up those early games. 100 Thieves continually falls behind early. We want to see that get fixed because they know how to play these late game fights.
Yeah, they really do. And at the very least, as you said, this was them playing to win. This was them fighting tooth and nail. They do fall, and Clutch rightfully takes the victory.
Yep, Clutch had some awesome plays that game, but now we're going to send things down to Riv, who's ready for an interview with Clutch's Feather Flinger in the bottom lane.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I am joined by Cody's son after the victory over 100 Thieves. Cody, I got to start off with the end of the game. It got a little hectic there. What was it like? You guys were playing with your food, and then your food started to bite back.
The early game went really well for us, and we're just trying to snowball cleanly as we can. And in the end, Someday made like a pretty big play. He like flashed and one-shot me, so I was pretty surprised by that. But I think our team stayed pretty calm, you know, despite what happened, and we were just able to close out.
Awesome, and I know a lot of people are happy to see you back on the LCS stage. How's it feel for you to be back playing with the team as well as taking down your old team?
It feels really good to be back. You know, I love playing on stage, and my team is like really nice to me, and we have a really nice team environment, and it feels like everyone can trust each other. So it feels really good to play on Clutch, and yeah, of course, it's great to like play in front of fans too.
Well, an awesome 2-0 weekend. Congratulations on that, and best of luck moving forward. We're going to throw it back to the State Farm analyst desk to break that win down.
Thank you very much, Riv. Huge turnaround weekend for Clutch Gaming. 2-0 to move to 2-2. Ash the Cat got it correct over here for Crumbs on the prediction. Yeah, he didn't have to do any work. So now we know the secret to Crumbs' prediction record at home. But let's take a look at how they crafted this victory because while game time-wise, it did take them a while, they were in essentially full control for a majority of the game. And before we dive into the gameplay itself, though, taking a look at champions like Crumbs, I know you have some thoughts on the way that 100 Thieves this time around has approached Champions League.
Yeah, it's worth noting this is literally the same draft Cloud9 played yesterday. Copy someone else's homework, and I actually don't hate it. It was a good composition that Cloud9 run. Cloud9 is one of the best teams that we have in the league, and 100 Thieves has no idea what their identity is right now with these two relatively new players to the roster, so why not just copy somebody else's and at least understand, oh, this is what they were doing. Can we copy that? Can we at least replicate somebody else's blueprint before we create our own? So it's a start.
Yeah, and I also like that against Clutch Gaming, you know, if they're not able to close the game out cleanly or get a big lead like you're supposed to do against this relatively weak early game comp, then you should actually scale super well into the late game. Yeah. The problem was Lyra actually did have a really good early game. On Skarner, getting 3-6 kills can be kind of difficult to do, so like, no, this was not played that well by 100 Thieves, but the fact that Clutch was able to turn some advantages in the early game before they really hit their power spikes was huge.
It's bananas how many mechanical misplays 100 Thieves is doing in these tower dive situations or ganks when it comes to the synergy between themselves, using every single ability before tower aggro is even starts, and Clutch Gaming, credit to them. They did a really good job doing so, but 100 Thieves has to understand that mechanics will come into play here. You have to be able to deliver on the play. Otherwise, you're just going to get rolled over just like it happened in the top one. I mean, it's unacceptable. Azale mentioned it. The guy walks through a ward and you still lose that gank. How much more information do you need?
Yeah, just an unfortunate usage of both of the ultimates there, crucially, when no damage had been dealt just yet. Of course, if we track the way the rest of the game played out, it was almost entirely Clutch Gaming focused when it came to the kills and the goal lead. Huni, with that Rumble, which he's been favoring quite a lot so far this split, had a much better showing this time around than last week.
Yeah, Lyra kind of snowballed his lane at the very beginning. He was able to run away with it, getting some kills in the side lane almost on his own. And then for a while, Clutch had great control of the game. You saw the end of the game with 6 Drakes. But then why 100 Thieves comp was supposed to be good in this game kind of showed as it kept going on, and then Clutch struggled more and more to close this game out. Like, if you didn't have that misplay in the top side like Crumbs is talking about, or in the bot lane, you're able to survive that dive a little better. Suddenly, your comp scales so much faster. And then someday when he makes these plays, suddenly you're not doing it with 3 inhibs down, you're doing it in the middle of the map or something like that. The position matters so much, and being so far behind, when you do make these good plays, it's unfortunately not enough.
Someday with a really solid ultimate there, however, just a little bit too far behind, not able to capitalize on it. But exactly as you mentioned, Mark, this is the illustration. Well, this maybe being the final moments, but up to this point, 3 inhibs down multiple times, Baron buffs, double super waves, and yet still Clutch did struggle to close it out. That is in part due to the composition that 100 Thieves drafted, so they had some of that late game insurance. Of course.
I also think when you hit that late game, if you're the Skarner, it really does not matter who you're pulling. You have so much damage. Just get the Jarvan. You saw he melted with the Stone Plate active on. Like, there's no point trying to go after the Stone. Just get the first guy in there. You have a numbers advantage with a Baron. It's very easy to close that way.
A solid turnaround for Clutch Gaming this weekend. I'll reference again DeMonte's interview yesterday where he seemed very unhappy with their start, saying, no, we are a much better team than what we've shown so far, and we're out to prove that. This is a good step in that direction. But before we move on to our third game of the day, I do want to talk about one player matchup in particular. 2 of our imports here in the top lane. We have Someday on the side of 100 Thieves and Huni on the other. Mark, talk to me, because these players, have now had sizable careers within the LCS. Huni's, of course, many more highs and many more lows, and I think a lot of times the focal point of criticism, from the community.
I think it's really surprising when you look especially about the community conversation around these 2 guys. Huni gets much more love and much more hate, because if you look at his play style, higher win rate but way lower KDA, but higher DPM, higher CSD, because he's someone who's going to try to push his leads as far as he can. Someday seems more passive, and so even though he actually hasn't had nearly, not even close to as much success as Huni, when he has off games, like I would say this game was actually an off game. He died in the side lane a number of times, like this top misplay like we're talking about. It was actually a pretty bad game from Someday, but the way that the community latches on to the 2 different members is so different, because Huni's good games are so great. You get this really passionate fan base for Huni.
He's back, baby.
He has these horrible games where he goes 0-10 because he's always trying to play aggressive.
Right.
He's terrible.
Utter trash. He completely threw the game.
It's such a stronger dichotomy of fans versus Someday, who everyone knows is a good player, but often slips under the radar
when he's underperforming.
I do think we're seeing a new Huni here, though, because the old Huni, whose stats definitely inflated some of those numbers there from Immortals, would just play a different champion every single game, whatever I want to play. If I want to do Quintop, I'm doing Quintop, Riven, whatever it is. Lucian Top, the very famous one. Now, it seems like he's just zoning in on Rumble. One pick, make sure that the rest of the team is okay and understands what I'm going to be able to provide for the team. I think that's really helping them out, because every other time, you just never know what Huni's going to pick. So how do you go about helping his lane? How do you go about team fighting? It's very complicated. And so now, if you know he's always on Rumble, his best champion at the moment, it's easy. Everyone knows how to play with a Rumble.
Right. If you're changing all these variables at the same time, it becomes hard. But now you've started to find a champ pool for Lear that works. Okay, it wasn't the Lee Sin, but now we found something that works with the Rumble.
Jarvan, Skarner, we like those both.
Right. So now you can start branching out a little bit more, hopefully for Huni as well. Now that you've found 1 or 2 comps that works if people start banning the Rumble.
Well, a sweet 2-0 weekend for Clutch Gaming to turn things around. Game 3, though, has lost, squaring up against Sven. If you want to support Fox's young gun or TSM's veteran bot laner, pick up a team pass and declare your allegiance to unlock special watch rewards for following your favorite teams. Set yours up and meet us back here for Game 3 after the break.